States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so let's call this meeting to order. This is the canvass of the November 3rd, 2020 election. And it's the final piece of business that the county board undertakes to certify the November 3rd election. At this point, we have counted all the ballots. We have added in we're going to be including today the supplemental ballots that we looked at last night, as well as the provisionals that we've approved. And this is also an opportunity for people on the board to ask any lingering questions they have about how the election was conducted. It's a chance to look at all the files, all the papers, all the documentation for the election at the different polling sites. Am I missing anything? So that's what we're doing today. And then when the board is satisfied that the election has been conducted properly and that we have a true, accurate vote for the Chatham County election, then we'll sign some. We'll vote and we'll sign some official papers that are sent to the State Board of Elections, which they will use when they meet in a couple weeks to certify the state election. So, Pandora or Steve, I guess
Are you going to
take
do
it
that
from here.
before we do this paperwork?
Carter's still doing right,
Okay.
so
So what we're gonna do is, since we didn't do this on last night, you know how we did on election day at the absentee meeting? We used the tape to write down the votes on the tally sheets. We need to do that, and then Lori, you'll need to put them on this sheet for us to send to the state.
Okay.
So, who's gonna write again? I guess we can do it like we did the last time. Who wrote? Amy?
No, I called.
You wrote, I know you wrote.
Yeah,
Yes.
something you right.
I'll write if Lori wants to call or Mark wants to call.
Did you write?
I don't know.
No, she wrote on the white, she wrote on the
Okay.
white paper. Yeah. And Lori, you wanna call this time, then you'll write on the, once they add them up, you'll write it on this.
Okay, so you want me to call?
Yeah, run the tape. This is the tape.
What have we done?
This is what we did last time, I'm just gonna watch you write.
It should just be
And what-
one, yeah, it should just be one line this time. It won't
Yeah,
be
it's
like
just
one.
machine one.
So is this the mail-in ballots or the provisionals?
This is the supplemental absentee by mail.
Okay.
Is it one and one tape here?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm looking where.
Carla wanted 2 tapes.
So,
There's a 0 tape on the top and then,
So what is supplemental absentee?
it's the ones that came in after election day that were postmarked. And
It's
we
the ones
got
we
it
did
in-
last night.
They're the ones we counted last night.
Yeah, so these are between November 3 at 5 p.m.
And yesterday at 5 p.m., November 12th.
No, that's not right. It also included ballots that came in on November 3rd, right?
yes.
As part of the
So
supplement.
November 3 during the day
Mhm.
and till November 12th.
By mail.
Basically, any ballots from the November 2nd meeting,
Yeah, what we counted last night.
yes, all the way
There's the
until,
governor, there's the president. I don't know, how's the tape?
It's the same thing.
Okay, do I need to give you a clip to shut that?
No. Would it be easier for you guys if I was over here? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you
You
fine.
all hear me?
Mhm.
Okay, so here we go. These are the supplemental votes that we tallied last night. President Trump, 87. Biden, 130. Blankenship, 2. Hawkins, 4. Jorgensen, 8. Write-ins, 1. On to the Senate. Tillis, 96. Bray, 15. Cunningham, 114. Hayes, 4. District 14, House of Representatives, Price, 108. Thomas, 81. House of Representatives District 13, Bud, 16. Huffman, 15.
15.
That's right. Governor, Pisano, 2. Cooper, 137. DeFiore, 8. Forrest, 83. Lieutenant Governor Robinson, 104. Holly, 116. Attorney General O'Neill, 100. Stein, 123. Auditor, Street, 94. Wood, 120. Agriculture, Troxler, 112. Wadsworth, 102. Insurance, Causey, 101. Goodwin, 111. Labor, Dobson, 100. Holmes, 113. Secretary of State, Sykes, 97. Marshall, 119.
97, 119.
Public Instruction, Truitt, 106. Mangrum, 108. Treasurer, Chatterjee, 110. Falwell, 104. Supreme Court Chief Justice, Beasley, 116. Newby, 100. Supreme Court Seat 2, Berger, 96. Inman, 119. Supreme Court Seat 4, Behringer, 112. Davis, 104. Court of Appeals, Seat 4, Shields, 103. Wood, 108. Court of Appeals, Seat 5, Cubbage, 114. Gore, 97. Court of Appeals, Seat 6, Stiers, 106. Dillon, 105. Court of Appeals, Seat 7, Young, 108. Carpenter, 103. Court of Appeals, Seat 13, Brooke, 109. Griffin, 102. State Senate, Fouché, 116. Glendinning, 94. House of Representatives, District 54, Reeves, 114. Gilson, 97. And these are the 4 judges. Cade, 133. Pendergrass, 134. Morrow, 133. And
Hold on,
Scarlett.
Merle's 133.
Yep. And Scarlett, 135.
Okay.
Board of Commissioners, Stobbs, 91. Howard, 113. Farr, 97. Gasher, 110. Wilkie, 100. Gomez Flores, 105. Grigsby, 135. Board of Education, Winters, 24. Armstrong, 36. Lavitt, 96. Write-ins, 1. District 2, Ham, 89. Lewis, 64. 0 write-ins. Soil and Water, Lynn Mann, 127.
Okay. That's it. That's all I need. Then you'll do the things and go for visuals.
Okay.
There's not anything you need to add, but there's not any other, like you did on election day with the absentees. Remember you had to add up all the machines, but you just got one machine and one total. So I just need, I like to keep these for our records, with the tape. Thank you. And then here's the, provisional. ma'am. You guys ready? This is the provisional tape. Oh, let me get that, that's not you.
Thanks, Stephen.
Pandora, you might want to think about, I put provision, you might want to put absentee
I did,
compilation.
I put supplemental.
Everybody ready?
Mhm.
Okay, President Trump, 45. Biden, 17. Zeros for the rest of the presidential candidates. And there were 0 write-ins. Senate, Tillis, 38. Bray, 0. Cunningham, 22. Hayes, 3. House of Representatives, Price, 14. Thomas, 18. House of Representatives, District 13, Budd, 19. Huffman, 3. For Governor, Pisano, 0. Cooper, 22. DeFiore, 0. Dan Forrest, 41. Lieutenant Governor, Mark Robinson, 39. Hawley, 22. Attorney General O'Neill, 38. Stein, 23. Auditor, Street, 41. Wood, 19. Agriculture, Troxler, 43. Wadsworth, 17. Insurance, Causey, 39. Goodwin, 20. Labor, Dobson, 41. Holmes, 20. Secretary of State, Sykes, 40. Marshall, 22. Public Instruction, Truitt, 39. Mangrum, 20. Treasurer, Chatterjee, 21. Falwell, 39. NC Supreme Court Justice, Beasley, 16. Newby, 43. Seat 2, Berger, 39. Inman, 22. Seat 14, Behringer, 37. Davis, 23. Court of Appeals, Seat 4, Shields, 19. Wood, 41. Seat 5, Cubbage, 18. Gore, 41. Court of Appeals, Seat 6, Stiers, 18. Dillis, 42.
Dylan?
Dillon, 42. Seat 7, Young, 18. Carpenter, 41. Seat 13, Brooke, 21. Griffin, 38. State Senate, Fouché, 19. Glendinning, 40. House of Representatives, Reeves, 17. Gilson, 43. District Court Judges, Cade, 33. Pendergrass, 32. Merle, 33.
33 from Merle. Okay,
Scarlett, 29.
I'm sorry, 29?
Scarlett, 29. You want me to go through those 4 judges?
No, Merle, I've got 33, Scarlett, 29.
Yes.
Okay. Commissioners, Stobbs, 43. Howard, 16. District 2, Farr, 39. Dasher, 20. District 5, Wilkie, 40. Gomez Flores, 18. Register of Deeds, Rigsby, 37. Board of Education, Winters, 7. Armstrong, 18. Slavic, 23. 0 write-ins. District 2, Ham, 29. Lewis, 21. 0 write-ins. And Soil and Water, Mann, 40. 1 write-in.
4-0 and then 1 write-in.
40,
Man is 40?
yes,
And 1 write-in.
and 1 write-in.
Mayor, what's the question?
you actually. One person asked how many supplemental ballots are being tallied and now in total, and then I've been asked 3 times to slow down while you're counting that.
Yeah, they're doing the count, so we're not, yeah.
Yeah.
As far as supplemental absentees, it was 235.
Okay, thank you.
For people that are watching, the totals that we've said today are going to be added to the totals from Election Day, and all those numbers will get posted on the State Board of Elections in the next few hours. Right?
Okay. So, is Carl ready?
I think she is, yeah. She brought in the write-ins.
She got the write-ins in here
Yeah, she said there wasn't anybody.
that had over
Had
5.
except
And
for-
for the person who was a qualified write-in, there were no votes, right? It was Jade Simmons for the office of President of the United States. And I don't know if you guys want me
Could
to.
you explain the rule about qualified and unqualified write-ins and what we have to note and what we don't have to note?
Qualified write-in has to be qualified by petition. And they have to get so many signatures prior to, the ballot being made. And if they get the qualified signatures, then their name they're considered a qualified write-in. And the votes that they get will be tallied just like the others. Their name just is not on the ballot. Person has to actually physically write the name on the ballot. And
So people that voted on Election Day and did a write-in for their husband or wife or their daughter or whatever, unless you had conducted a petition drive and gotten a certain number of signatures ahead of time, those write-ins aren't going to count. But if you get over 5 for one of those unqualified write-ins, we have to make a note of it. Is that correct?
yes, we
Yes.
have, and the list is available for anybody who wants to see the write-ins. But we did learn a lesson from this election with our voting equipment. It will print off every name of every write-in at the end of the night, and we'll do that from now on. We had to go back in and look at them and physically write them down ourselves. But from this point on, we will print that list off of the tabulator on election night.
Once we get upgraded to the newest version,
Okay,
she'll be able to print a report out of all the write-ins.
okay,
We're not at that new version yet, because the state hasn't approved it yet.
okay.
So question, if we have unqualified write-in, but they have more than 5 votes, we have to note it. What does that mean? We say we put, Mr. Smith got 8 votes or 12 votes or
Name of the person and how many votes they got.
the name and the number, and then we report it to the.
It goes in with the report that y'all.
Okay.
But in this case, we don't have
No.
such a person.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody want to look at the list of unqualified write-in votes?
It's here.
No.
I don't see it.
You want to see it?
As a matter of fact, Steve Seamos got his name wrote in for soil and water.
Oh, congratulations, Steve.
I think Donald did it.
I
I wish I could take credit for it.
This is soil and water, and they had, what, 581?
Yeah.
581 write-ins, these are the names. So if you want to look through them, I'll just give y'all a little bit. You might find it interesting to see who some of the people are that their names got wrote in.
Your mom?
Donald Duck.
Just to add a little humor to this, yeah.
Here's one Snow White.
Yep. Had Donald Duck this year? Oh, there's Goofy.
Here's Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Mr. T. That's a generational test right there.
That's a lot of work. She had to go through and count the number of people that somebody got because it doesn't print out.
Yeah, again, it's the version that we have.
But it will in the future say,
Yeah, the state has to test the new version. So the version we got is what the state approved 2 years ago. There is a new version that ours got out there. there, that the state has to run their tests and has to approve them, and then once, we should have it for the next election.
So if Tim Roberts gets 3 votes, would they all be printed out?
It would
It
tell you.
would say Tim Roberts 3,
It'll
do that work
tell
for
you,
us?
and it'll tell you where those votes came from.
Great,
which
okay.
precincts, yeah.
So I think now,
Next one is doing these.
you want to explain that?
Yeah, okay, so, we've got the 4 challenges that were done on election night. We have to do manual edits on these. So, we have 4 ballots that got accepted that don't need to be accepted, and we have to take their vote totals out. One was from the deceased voter that died before the election. One was from the voter who moved to Orange County and has lived there more than 30 days, which means it doesn't count. The next one was the one on that first time, the first meeting we had where the ballot jammed and we duplicated and we thought it didn't count, but it ended up counting, so we need to subtract those 3 votes. The 4th one is the challenge of the voter that said that when we originally got their absentee ballot, they weren't the ones that signed it, the one that we sent to the state for investigations. So we have to subtract their old ballot, and then we have their new ballot that we have to add in. So there's 4 ballots that are going to be taken out and one that's going to be added on there. That is done in the Verity system, and so we need to go next door where Carla's at, and board members need to watch while she takes them out. And there's incident reports for every one of these that we've done.
Okay. Do all 5 of us need to go, or does it need to be a member of each
I think
party?
it should be a member of one of each party.
Be a little less.
Yeah.
That's crowded in there, yeah.
Okay. Chuck, you wanna go?
Is anybody interested in going?
I'll do,
You wanna go?
sure.
No go.
So is this one I have to go upload it?
After Carla's done with it, then she'll take all that and you upload it to the site.
Okay, so, Charles Ramos from the Republican Party and PBE from the Democratic Party are gonna go over there and watch Carla make the manual adjustments in our totals, and they'll be back shortly.
A question while we're waiting. I've been asked,
Daniel, ¿cómo está?
I've been asked if, demographic breakdown of elections available. Is that something we do or is it other people do,
Like demographics, when they say demographics?
like race and ethnicity?
You mean of how many people that's voted, or
Yeah,
who voted, and, or what, I mean?
who voted, yeah. You know, like,
Once the election's certified, yeah. We'll certify ours today, but then the state won't certify until the 24th.
We have that information already by registered voters.
I think he wants to know who voted.
right,
You want to know who voted,
right.
right? And then it'll tell how they voted, if they voted absentee, if they voted, early, or if they voted, on election day.
It'll also break it down by precinct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that a list you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the 24th.
That's when it'll be certified by the state. So I would prefer to, once, before we start giving out data, I would like for the election to be fully certified by the state.
And that's on the 24th.
Yeah, they're supposed to certify on the 24th.
Andor, would you like me to start filling out that sheet?
I started it, but you
Oh,
can finish it. I was gonna do it and let somebody go over it and see if I was writing it down.
okay, that's fine.
But you can finish it. Yes, he has a question.
A person asked if it was possible to get a name of the voter who died after submitting absentee.
I don't have it here. Steve has that.
Okay.
I don't.
You go get it.
I don't know. I mean, is that
There might
public
be some
record?
privacy.
That's what I'm saying. Is that public record?
I wouldn't give it out unless you had advice from the attorney.
So we'll have to check on it. We'll just have to check to see what the legal ramifications are for giving out
Okay.
deceased voters' names. That's not something people normally request. Here you go, Lord. I've got to, I didn't put, well, I started this one, but I thought we'll just copy it from here. So the board gotta sign this. And I stopped right here at Laura. Just
Okay.
Cubbage. wherever she's at. Right there. There it goes. I got the front part of that sheet too. Yeah, they can get lists, and then too, we have, that's when we'll start back doing our registrations and stuff after that. So did anybody have any comments about the election? Or would you like to wait till everybody else gets back?
I think we should wait.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Should we entertain the viewers at home while we're waiting? I can tell some jokes. No, I didn't hear any applause for that. Oh, we got a question.
So he's just confirming, so a total of 4 ballots are challenged, or 3 rejected, and 1 resolved with new ballot? He's asking, just confirming whether or not that's correct or not.
When Steve gets back, we'll confirm that, because
Okay.
I didn't write it down.
That was my understanding.
That was my understanding, but I want to make 100% sure. It was a total of 4, I do know that. 1 deceased, 1.
So I'm crossing out a number I wrote wrong. Would that make you want me to do
I
it?
could keep that sheet, I'll send the one that's not crossed out. 1 goes to the state, 1 stays with us. I'll just keep the one you crossed out, just initial it, and if the other board members want to see it and initial it, that's fine.
There's another question.
Jimmy asked, where did the other 2 members go? So if you could
Like,
explain that?
No, I'm sorry.
We had 4 challenge ballots, and at this point, we've dealt with all those, and Carla, who's our tech person, needs to make manual edits in our election equipment to reflect the changes that we have to make based on those challenges. And 2 board members have gone to oversee what she does as she makes those manual edits, and they'll be back shortly.
Okay.
And that is required by the state for a board member to watch as we do our uploads. Boy, this is the other sheet. That's the one that, just when you finish that, it'll go on. Here, we'll send this one.
Unless I miss that one too.
I can bring another one.
I'll try to do better.
That's okay. That's the joys of election. Yep. And this is the front copy of that. That's the front page of that. Already did that. I guess I need to go over here because I'm gonna have to upload to the state once they get that. So I'll be back.
Do you want me to do the provisionals? Is there another sheet
No,
like
we
this
don't
for
have
the
one.
provisionals?
No, I just did provisions for our own.
Oh,
These have to go to the state, that does not.
okay.
Yeah.
Donald, are you the sergeant at arms?
I am.
You gonna bounce people if they get out of line?
No.
Come on, man. Think of the ratings we'll get.
Could y'all move your name tags so I can write them down? They're asking for your names. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'll look at it.
You see it?
Yeah, just barely.
2 R's, 1 S.
2 R's? So, is it Barroso?
Correct.
Barroso. Okay, thank you.
I should clean it off.
The people in the chat, thank you. Thank everyone in this room for your hard work.
We appreciate their interest in observing this whole process.
Exercise class, yoga. Donald's gonna lead us in some yoga, please.
Kind of hide from the camera. Those are the daily audit sheets from the early voting from each site.
I'm always sort of interested in the incident reports. I noticed there's several mistakes that are mistaken clicks of the update button. What happens when you do that?
Someone's trying to find this. Where's it on YouTube?
It's TaJ Talk, TaJ Talk.
TaJ.com,
And then first channel that pops up, it'll come up. I'm pretty sure.
right?
Or, yeah, TaJTalk.com or on YouTube, you search up TaJ Talk. It should be on our website too.
So TaJ Talk on YouTube.
Yeah, search it up. TaJ Talk.
Yeah. So what was the question again, Lauren?
Oh, I just noticed that a number of problems were resulted when accidentally the update button was pushed. What effect would that have?
Sometimes, when you say have a green check mark to vote, you have an inactive voter, which means that we sent the mail twice and we've gotten it back. So all they need to do for that, it'll show inactive voter, and all they do for that is just go and update the voter. So sometimes they would put the voter was not eligible to vote, but they're always eligible to vote if it's an inactive voter. And then sometimes if they went to update the voter, they had trouble putting in the correct geocode street name that we have. So that was a problem. So they would call the office and we would walk them through that. And then that would resolve that problem.
But, okay, the way the incident report is written, it looks like the problem was that somebody pushed the update button.
If you, in early voting, if you do the update button, as long as you do not vote the voter, you can do anything.
Is it
with that.
the- is it the back
You can go back
dial?
and forth, you can print out as many papers as you need to, or you did by mistake. You can always do any of that, and before you vote the voter. On election day,
Yeah,
you don't have that capability. Once you vote the voter, the only correspondence you have is between you and the voter. Once you do vote in person, it automatically votes that person. And early voting, when you hit vote in person, it'll give you a review, and the voter gets to review their application, one-stop application. On election day, you don't get a chance to review that. Once they print it out, if there's any changes, they have to make them manually on that sheet, and then they have to flag that so that we can make the changes at the office.
I'm okay. There's something I'm just not understanding about why pushing the update button is called an incident.
It should not be, no,
Oh,
no, no.
okay.
It's not really.
It's not a real
No,
incident.
no.
Okay.
One year, we had several people that voted inactive voters as provisionally, and they should have been voted as regular voters.
Uh-huh.
So that voter should have been able to, but it should not be, it's not an incident.
Okay.
No, it's not an incident.
Okay, but since we have the paper for it, it has to get included?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. You've got a question?
Jamie asked would like all these numbers, like the provisionals and stuff like that, will they be on the state board of elections website?
They will be included with our totals. I don't think they'll be broken down as separate, but you can figure them out. Anyway, by the end of today, our totals will include the supplementals and the provisional votes that we have added today. So the numbers will look different than what we posted on election day.
Okay. On what website will it be on?
The State Board of Elections
Okay.
website.
It's ncsbe.com, or .gov, excuse me.
NCSB.
Hey. I'm at the Board of Elections.
Oh, smart.
We're actually in a bit of a pause right now because,
Are we still on TV?
Yeah.
Just one guy?
And then there's 16 people watching, but there's like one person commenting really.
Do they know what's going on right now?
I don't think so. I think they know that the two right there went to go manually watch that, so I guess that's why. Okay.
We need another Democrat and another Republican to go over while she uploads everything and
okay.
test the ballots.
Frank? Yeah.
Gotta go to the other place. Lori, I'm sorry.
It's another team that gets to go
Oh,
over and,
That was a new site, so that's a problem.
all right.
Make sure that-
Cool.
Got it, okay. Do I need to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you guys have been there, but we need to go? Is that the deal?
So we watched them do the votes, and now you all are gonna go to Pandora's office and watch her upload and print out the reports.
Okay, just so the camera understands
Right.
what we're doing. Carla has just made the edits of those 4 challenged votes, and now Pandora in her office is going to upload all of the supplementals and the provisionals and those edits, those 4 edits that were just made, onto the website that she will use to then transmit the totals to the State Board of Elections. And so Frank and I are going to go over there and watch her do this. And we'll be back soon.
And then we should be close to done.
I should say, I've just started having a look at some of the material that has all the material from the different one-stop sites.
Okay.
And if you go through it, you can take a look at the incidence reports, the daily logging in and out of, auditing the ballots and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to just familiarize yourself with what's here,
Okay.
that's something to do.
All right.
I'll be back.
Where'd Mark go?
Try to remove the nuance.
The only thing I should be looking out for.
Just making sure that the numbers match and there's not anything out of the ordinary. What was that we missed?
Oh, yeah.
Is there a question?
So a while ago, he asked if he can get the name, actually, no, that wasn't it.
Name of the deceased? No.
It was the one about the,
No.
about the 4 challenges and the,
Oh, yeah.
that one.
Was it, she asked, 4 ballots are challenged, 3 are rejected, and 1 was resolved with the new ballot. He was asking, just confirming whether or not those numbers are correct or not.
Yes.
Okay.
And, yeah, so 3 of them. 1 was a deceased voter, and if you die before the election, you can't count that. So that's why we subtracted the number.
Okay.
I mean, are they on there? I mean, I'm sure they're,
Yeah.
I'm sure they're here.
okay, so if they're here, then I can just tell him, he can listen to what I'm saying,
Okay.
you know. Basically, 1 was a voter died before the election, so if you die before the election, you can't count the vote. So we took that vote out. The second one was a person voted absentee in Chatham County, but moved to Orange County more than 30 days after the election. If you live somewhere for more than 30 days after, more than 30 days from the election, you need to vote at your county. So this person lived in Orange County more than 30 days, which means that's where they needed to vote. The vote that they originally cast in Chatham County needs to be removed, which is what we did. The third one was a mistake on our part on the first board meeting when we had all those ballots. We had a jam in the machine. When we pulled the ballot out, we thought the machine didn't count the ballot, so we ended up duplicating the ballot. Turns out after we did the audit that night, or actually two or 3 days later because it was a big meeting, turns out that the machine did actually count that ballot, and so we accidentally duplicated a ballot that we shouldn't have, so we removed those votes. The fourth one was somebody had originally, we mailed them an absentee ballot. It got approved on a September 29th meeting. The voter called up and said they never received the ballot. They never completed that ballot. It was never at their house. Somebody completed that ballot for them. When that happened, we sent that information to the state. The investigators took a look at it. The investigators then told us to send this voter a new ballot. We sent that voter a new ballot. That new ballot got returned. The investigator said to go ahead and remove the old ballot since that voter didn't vote that old ballot. So we did that, and then we counted the new ballot that the voter voted.
Thank you.
people were writing incident reports, I didn't put a little thing, so there's incident reports on there for incident report. No, we told them to write incident reports on everything, even if it wasn't anything.
Yeah.
You know, that way there's not a question of why, you know, like the tape run out, that's not an incident report, but they wrote it in it, you know. Oh, yeah. Marshall, let's do it. I should take it. That's my opinion. Oh, Alright, no other questions or anything?
He just said thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
she has, Pandora has just sent our final results, including the supplementals and the provisionals and the manual edits. She has a file that has all that totaled in and has sent that information to the state. And in the next few minutes, you should be able to go on the State Board of Elections website and see the new Chatham County totals. And those will be the totals that we will be certifying in the next little while.
Okay. So she's gonna print off those reports and that's when we'll sign them off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you looked at these?
Yes.
You want to?
Mhm.
Okay.
And the incident reports from the challenges and
Great.
everything. Do we know where Mark's gone off to?
Mark's over there.
Oh, is he?
He
Okay.
was hanging out with Carla, and now he's in with Pandora, so I thought I better leave so we didn't have a little extra meeting going on over there.
Ah, yes.
How many people we have online?
13, but I think the highest we've had today is like 18 or 19.
Lori, what kind of, Debbie, what kind of apples were those? They were exceptional.
Right now, you got about 13.
I got them from
12 right now.
I
Four?
got that
Yeah,
tree from
it
Cal
just went to
Okay.
12.
20 years ago, and I have lost my paperwork, so I no longer know what the variety is. But it's some heritage, Southern
Okay, oh,
heritage
okay.
apple,
Oh, yeah, yeah, you could tell that.
Yeah,
Good.
they are good, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah. It's possible, are you interested in planting a tree like that yourself?
We're right smack in the woods, so we
Oh,
don't
okay.
have, we don't have any rooms, but we would love some, if you have any zinnias next year.
Oh, okay,
Because
sure.
we have
They did
a
well,
great place to put them in,
yeah.
so.
I was gonna say, there's a youngish orchardist who lives up near, somewhere near Winston-Salem or north of
Okay.
Winston-Salem,
Okay.
who has a heritage orchard and sells apple trees from there, and I think he got a lot of his rootstock from Lee Calhoun
Okay.
sometime in the last 20 years.
Okay,
And so that's a place where you can actually order some of these old trees and or old varieties, and if you described or took a picture of your apple,
okay. Oh,
he might be able to figure out what it is or
Okay,
come
okay.
close.
Okay.
Yeah. But sounds like that doesn't work for you.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you're in the
no,
woods.
no, we don't have any other space at all.
Yeah.
Which machine, man, shuttle, or another machine that wasn't clean, take out and wash it out? Is that New Hope? Back here.
So we got,
And then what did Mike say was the problem with the other one? The very,
we think it was a bad surge protector. Kept going in, because if you get into the tape, it would say main power on, then it would say main power missing.
so man's check on New Hope are the ones that needed to go back to be fixed. The tabulators.
Yeah, New Hope,
New Hope, no tape running out.
yeah, New Hope had the one where it said it wouldn't lock. You know, it said it wouldn't lock in, so it wouldn't let you print, so.
Okay, so
Remember
no
that
tape
one?
because the thing wasn't on the tablet.
Yeah, it kept saying the tablet was not locked in, and it was locked in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then main chapel just kept running on battery.
Yeah.
I think we're still under warranty. We haven't had these things more than a year, have we?
We had it for
No.
municipals.
No, we didn't have them for the municipals.
We had it for the municipal in 19, so.
No.
We did.
The,
we had-
what, the,
We got a lot of it in December.
We did,
Yeah.
so they should still be.
Yeah, they should still be.
Okay.
We had a couple that we used for the municipals, and then we used everything in the primary.
I
It's this year.
I thought the municipals were,
We had a
the
few,
loaners.
We had a few for.
we had a few for the municipal,
for
no, we
early-
didn't buy for the whole county
For
until
early
December.
voting, we had a few.
For the
What was the
municipals
problem?
last year?
We
I
did,
thought that was the test.
Yeah.
It was, but they,
was.
we kept those machines afterward.
Yeah,
after
yeah,
the
that's-
test.
that, it was a very prints.
Yeah.
What was the machine's problem?
Man's Chapel ran on battery the whole time. We couldn't figure out why. So they just kept changing the batteries
On election day?
on election day, which was fine. We had enough battery packs. It wasn't a problem. It never interrupted. We couldn't figure out why that was going on.
This is the tabulator?
This is the tabulator, and the only way we could switch them out was to close the polls, and we didn't want to do that. So we
Yeah.
just kept running batteries on that.
Huh.
And then New Hope at the end of the night wouldn't print a tape because it said the tablet wasn't locked, even though the tablet was completely locked.
Hmm.
So those two just need to go back to Hart and see what the issue is,
Yeah.
and figure this out, so.
Do you know how Hart did in the other counties?
I haven't heard anything.
This election? Okay.
Yeah, I know Mike was at, what county was it?
Onslow.
Onslow County? Yeah. He stopped by a couple of times to check up on us here.
Uh-huh. Okay.
These are minor stuff. We had one Verity print machine that we couldn't figure out what the problem was, and it turns out it was the surge protector was just bad.
Oh.
And so it kept telling the machine was bad, so, yeah.
But overall, this seems like we,
I haven't,
We're in a good
I have no
situation with
complaints over it. I mean, those Verity print machines handled, I mean,
I mean, we pushed
they
it to
were
the
they
limit.
printed 16,000 ballots on these machines that were,
really,
so, we didn't have, we had one that was bad only because we had put it upside down and the ink fell out and had to clean that out, but everything else was good. Everything else ran fine.
great, good.
What's that?
That was Mark.
Oh, well, he's on the phone. Did you have any questions or anything, or? We're about to finalize it,
So the results are public now.
so. Okay.
Great, okay.
I'll tell this observer. So our results are public.
Yeah, the only two comments I have, or one comment I have, is the League of Women Voters, Orange, Durham, and Chatham counties is observing. And they say thank you to the board members and staff for all their work this election.
The what now?
The League of Women Voters for Orange, Durham, and Chatham counties is observing.
The league saying thank
And
you.
they said thank you.
Oh, okay. Appreciate that.
75% voter turnout for the state.
What were we?
For the state?
We're at 85.3.
85?
Yeah.
Close. What did I say, 88?
Yeah, I said 85.
You said.
You said 90.
You can't get one of them, it's on a water person.
Amy just said 75% for the state.
For the
That's
state.
For the
impressive.
state.
Good.
What's Chad's still number?
I don't know, I'm looking it up right now.
We should be going. I don't think anybody got more.
80, I think it was 85.3.
Wow.
That's a record for us, I think. I don't think.
Oh,
we've
yeah.
Oh,
ever
yeah.
had a number like that.
I don't have my computer, so I can't like light it up.
Yeah.
Should say 84.26.
That's Chatham?
That's Chatham County.
Okay. Huh.
Man.
Yeah, it's really great.
Yes, that includes the last county upload at
Okay, so I wonder if that,
12:07.
does it list all 100 counties? You gotta go one by one for it to tell you.
This is, you gotta go one by
I
one.
think that's how you always had to do
And I
it.
tell you what, I felt every vote.
Oh, yeah. Okay, every single one of these gray hairs.
48,809 votes out of 57,927 registered voters. You all should be very proud of yourselves.
57,000, how many?
57,927 registered voters.
Jimmy Holcomb asked, is still curious about the deceased voter. How was it flagged and challenged? And then he asked, was it a death record? Or
Yes,
I saw some map
there's
of
two ways it got
country
flagged. First one is that there's audits run by the state.
Where you can click on
And
each
so
state and see what
it'll,
voter turnout
every
was.
week before we do a board meeting, it'll tell us if there's an issue.
Yeah,
And so
no, this
that
is
one
supposed to be
came
the
up
highest in
as
100
removed.
years.
Right.
And so because they came up and
So-
removed, we then looked at why was it removed, and they said it was removed because deceased. But another way that we also found out is that the wife sent in a notification of deceased voter form,
Yeah.
notifying us that her husband had passed away.
Could be.
And all this happened before the election, so we were able to remove it.
That's amazing voter turnout.
It is,
We should be proud of ourselves.
for our tired.
Is
out
Pandora, what are we waiting on the She's printing out the sheets for everybody to sign?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
This gentleman was asking me about the provisionals
Mm-hmm.
that were,
Last night.
last night's stuff.
Uh-huh.
Is this a public record, this document right here?
I believe it is.
You know,
Does it have voters' information on it?
Pandora was just saying that, you know, when you put together the information to send to the state, the supplementals are mixed in
They are.
with the mailed in absentee
They are.
ballots for
Yeah, there are voters'
privacy
names on here.
purposes.
Okay.
There's voters' names.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't, it's not.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll tell him.
What does he want to know, the 15 voters that?
If you don't have anything to do, can you talk to him?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't do the provisionals, Pandora, chance it.
Bless you.
So the document is, has voters' names on it, okay?
Who is that person?
Did you say what time it's gonna be published?
I'm sorry.
What time are they gonna be publishing this in state
It
by the
it is
state?
now on the state
Right now?
website.
Yeah.
It's there now. That's what Pandora was just doing, was sending that information. So what we're here now for is just to
Sign off.
sign it. I'm so glad we're not the state of Georgia. I read something about the process they're gonna use to count on the ballot, and it takes two people, it stacks at 10, it's calling it out a second time. I mean, it sounds tedious, like, and they have to have it done by Wednesday.
How long, that was my question, was how long do they anticipate?
Well, they're starting today, and they say it has to be done by Wednesday, so.
Today is Friday,
Yeah.
they're working through the Saturday and Sunday,
I bet
Probably.
they are.
So it's 5 million votes.
so,
The New York Times described it as like an audit. It was basically an audit.
Right, well, actually, I mean, a lot of audits are, you know, where you just do a sample, like we did the
Right.
other day.
Exactly.
But the Times was also saying that since it's not officially a recount, it's an audit, that they could ask for a recount after they finish doing the hand to eye if they really wanted to keep it going.
so may I ask a question? We did an audit on 2 precincts.
Mm-hmm.
Were we assigned those precincts?
Yes.
Yeah, the day after election is when the state told us what precincts and what contest we would be auditing. And that's so, you know, that there's no way we could,
Or bias our own?
well, yeah, or cheat on some precincts and not on others or something, because we don't know
We don't know
which.
who we're gonna be assigned.
That's right.
And is every county, did some, they gave them a couple precincts to
Right.
audit?
Yeah.
Right,
And the county didn't know?
that's right.
I see.
And Pandora made it sound like it's fairly random, and that some counties got early voting sites that they had to audit, which, you know, in this election were huge
Yes.
content, numbers of ballots to audit, whereas we got election day assignments, which were, you know, just a couple hundred
Smaller.
votes.
Mhm.
Are we on, yeah? No, Mark's not here. How would we feel about not meeting on Tuesday night?
What are we supposed to do then?
So that's our regular board meeting, but
Right.
because of the cyber attack, all of the, minutes, which is mainly what we would have been doing on Tuesday, is going through all the minutes, are gone. So Pandora needs time to reconstitute them. The office needs time to like pull itself back together. I mean, we're not really, that's about all we would be doing. There's no
I think
other,
the only other thing we might be doing, but can also happen right now if we need to, is talk about the election, lessons learned kind of thing, and it's useful to do that fairly soon after the election before everybody's forgotten what the issues were.
so I would say let's take notes and we could just hand them to her now if you all would be okay with us not meeting on Tuesday so that everybody could have a little bit of a break before the holiday. What do you think?
We would still be meeting in December.
Yeah, we'd meet in December, but not meet on Tuesday.
Well, this would be our regular November meeting day.
Right.
But you're saying we're kind of, my thought was, what work do we have to do? There's work to do.
Make sure you don't have work to do.
No, I mean, the thing that we need to do is we've got all of these meeting minutes, and those, she was working on them and they're now gone. So that would be, and the only other thing that we would really need to do is talk about the election. We could actually pull Mark in here right now and kind of and,
Do that today.
do that today while we're waiting for the results to print out.
I think that might be good.
And then we have our regular meeting in December?
Yes, we have a regular meeting in December,
Which would be like a Tuesday.
Tuesday evening, yeah.
Mark, Amy was just suggesting that since a prime thing we might be doing next Tuesday in our regular monthly meeting is going through, getting updated on, or signing off on all the minutes of the last many meetings, and Pandora doesn't have them completely reconstituted because of the cyber problem in Chatham, that other than that, there's no critical reason to meet other than that we often meet after an election to talk about lessons learned at the election, things we need to do better next time, that kind of thing. And Amy was suggesting that while we're waiting for Pandora to show up with the documents we have to sign, that we could do some of that discussion right now. The lessons learned kind of discussion, which is appropriate for a campus in any case, and just not meet next Tuesday.
Oh, I got nothing else to do, man. I don't have a life.
Okay, that's fine.
That's
Is that fine?
Well, let me get a piece of paper and, so, anybody have any comments about?
First of all, I think we should put the positive. I think these guys really worked extremely well. The
Yes.
team that they had out there working for the board in the polling places, I think they had an excellent group of people.
Yes.
They knew what they were doing, they were right on top of everything, they were working as a team. I was very impressed with them.
Yeah, I would say that the Democracy for Heroes drive for poll workers was beneficial, to say the least.
And I didn't see any major problems where everything shuts down.
Right.
They had a problem, minor problem, but they all took care of it right on the spot,
Yeah.
and business continues to move on. And chief judges or the leader of each precinct had their, what should I say, their hands on,
Mm-hmm.
and it was terrific teamwork.
I'd add right in there that, I think the elections training must have been very good.
It was.
That we had so many well-performing poll workers.
I'd also like to,
I think all 100 counties do that. Yeah, that's all 100, so it's a county.
I'd also like to give a shout out to the public. I was concerned about voter intimidation and voter harassment and all this crazy stuff that's going on in other parts of the country. And I think people of Chatham deserve credit for a peaceful, civil process.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, I thought the voter experience was probably one of the best people have had in a long time.
Yeah.
And, you know, it may have been partly that people were just respectful of each other because of COVID, but it really helped.
Mhm.
I thought the campaigners were extremely polite and not sort of pressing up against you when you went to
Yes.
a polling site. They politely offered materials if you wanted. If you said no, that was fine. It was wonderful. You've got a question?
Yeah, Jimmy asked if he can get an overall total of the provisionals, and he's asking if 11-3, but he said, any way of getting to overall total provisionals considered since 11-3, or November 3rd, and total absentees since November 3rd, question mark.
Does he want results for each race, or does he just want the total number?
I'm pretty sure he wants the total number.
Tell them the results are public at the state website now.
I told him to look at NCSBE, and he said those numbers shouldn't be on the Chatham. He said not seeing how to break these numbers out on the website, Chatham totals.
He has to go down to the county level.
Okay.
So
Not
there's
he said not results, just the total number of ballots.
Yeah, that's all there.
Okay, so
Just tell them to select Chatham County.
okay.
Steve, we're just doing while we're waiting, we're just doing a quick little set of comments from board members about how the elections went.
Okay,
We started with all the positives,
okay.
and do we have any negatives that anybody wants to express?
I have not a negative, but a question, and I don't have the answer to. And maybe Steve and Ms. Pascal would be better to address this. That is, I know that Steve and Ms. Pascal, and by extension Donald and Peter and people that are in this immediate building area, were working overtime. What if Steve would have gotten sick and disappeared for a week? A couple days before and a couple days after. I mean, you were choreographing all of 18 different
I think we talked about that before, because Pandora used to do the absentee stuff, so she's very familiar in what I'm doing. The rest of the staff kind of has an idea, and the state's always on standby too. They have their own, like, they dealt with this before where counties have actually lost directors and deputy directors, and they have a crew ready to dispatch to go to every county and take over and continue the process of voting.
So our staffing is adequate.
For
That's
this
what I'm working
election,
on.
it was adequate, yeah. A lot of,
When you say adequate, that's broad.
Well, I think I heard Steve a couple times say he was working till 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Working with 3 hours of sleep. Now, I applaud you for your discipline, your effort, your choreography, everything you were doing. But if you
But also, by him doing that, we have to realize too, we were doing this in a pandemic. We had over 17,000 absentee ballot requests. We
That's
normally
not
only
normal.
have 2,500.
yes.
So that's why he was doing it. But as we move forward with elections, we will take a look at our staff to make sure if anything else like this happens, we will be adequately staffed.
Yes.
So staffing, right now, no red flags or anything?
Well, there needs to be some things that
It
need to
needs
be
to
done.
be some adjustments, but this probably isn't the,
Yeah, this is when we need
Time to
time to
deal
do
with
that,
that.
we can do that, yeah. We need to sit down and kind of go through what we need to
Yes.
make the office more efficient and better for the public and all that kind of stuff. Under the circumstances,
You guys
I
did
think,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something that I wanted, kind of like, I wrote a list of stuff, because we were sitting down,
right.
on what the stuff, based on what, now I've been doing this will be, for me, it'll be 20 years next year that I've been doing this. And I've never encountered, and I'm sure none of us have ever encountered anything like that. But as far as, and I've worked in Durham County, I've worked at the state level, I've worked in, federal level, and now in Chatham County. But I do want to say, I want to commend our staff on a great job that we all did. I want to commend Pandora. She was very trustworthy on what we did. She basically let everybody do their thing and like, listen, you know what you're doing, work your hours, do what you need to do to get it done. Any questions that she had, she asked them. Donald, I'd like to give credit to Donald for a lot. He helped out a lot, and all the staff. I want to give credit to Carla and Justin in the IT department for what they did. They do a lot before the election, setting up our computers and getting everything ready. Really couldn't do anything without their support on that. Temp workers, we had a lot of temp workers that came in. We asked them to do a lot under a lot of pressure, trying to teach them a lot of stuff really quick. They caught on very fast, they were very dedicated. Our site managers, we had our normal ones, but we had some new site managers. They did an excellent job under the circumstances. Same thing with our election day workers and our early voting workers. I mean, this is an election that we've all never encountered before, so
Exactly.
commend them on what they did. Karen Brinson Vale and the state board, the support that we got from them, I commend them on that. I mean, we needed something, when there was something we couldn't do over here, we were always able to get somebody from the state board, we were always able to get support from them. They were always on call, so it was great to have that resource we needed, especially when we had some situations toward the end there.
Yes.
The state was very supportive and understanding of what they did, so I commend the board. All of y'all, you were always available for us when we needed it. You asked questions, legitimate questions, stuff that y'all didn't understand. You came to us and asked us questions, especially when the public was asking y'all. So that is great to hear from the board, rather than come over there and just say something. They're like, well, let's ask, the director and deputy, and we'll get back to you. So I commend the board and always be willing to help us out. We had things that we needed done, changes on board meetings, so we commend y'all on that. I'd like to give Laura Lee and the new ag building and their staff, they did an excellent job. We had to relocate a lot of stuff to the new ag building because of social distancing, and their staff did a great job. Carolyn Miller and HR did a really good job. I mean, a lot of people don't realize, a lot of people think that we only work one day a year in elections. They don't realize how much stuff is involved in getting an election done. They don't realize that around election time, we usually become one of the biggest agencies in the county because of all the temp workers that we have to hire and all that other stuff. So, HR does a great job of getting people, getting their payrolls and everything. Finance too, getting the payrolls in there, so I want to give them credit. Kevin Keys and the maintenance staff, they're shorthanded over there, but they did a really great job of helping us take supplies to where we needed to and picking them up. So
EOC.
Yeah, EOC. Steve Newton from EOC, they did a great job. When we lost power, the power backups were there. Emergency management. Yeah, Steve Newton. Mike Robinson in the sheriff's office and their deputies did an excellent job of making sure that, they were nearby if we needed something. I mean, they're putting the signs out there for the public to know where these one-stop locations, that was all of them. Give them credit for that. Chatham County Schools, we would like to thank them for allowing us to use their schools, the gyms, and we would like to use them in the future if we can.
Yes.
It was very helpful and appreciative that they had a teacher working and there were no students during the election. Made it a lot easier for us. And the churches and all these new early voting locations, thank you for letting us use their sites. I know it can be kind of a pain around election time to get a lot of people around, your location, but we really appreciate that. So
Yes, we do.
I just want to
And
thank
thank you,
everybody.
Steve, for saying that for me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
No, we gotta go.
I do.
This comes from not just me, this
Yeah.
comes from everybody in the office, so.
Everybody.
well, and I think the board totally supports all the things that
Yeah.
you're spreading around, because it really was a remarkable effort by the entire county in the face of
Mhm.
huge challenges. I mean,
Yes.
just the pandemic all by itself, not to mention the cyber problem.
Mhm.
It was fantastic.
Thank you.
We're very grateful.
Yeah, we'll be even more grateful.
A lot of prep work over the last 4 years to come to this moment, so.
Yes. Yeah, I ditto everything Steve said. It's good to have people that you can trust to go ahead and do things. Whenever him and Donald was, coordinating, getting the one-stop site set up, Carla dispatched out, I was pretty much here at the base. But they were getting stuff done that I wasn't able to get done. I was doing things that they didn't do. So we worked well together as a team. And I'm grateful, to have a board and a staff that, has my back, as a director. So, and thank you voters.
Yes.
Certainly.
You made us, probably the highest voter turnout in the state.
I think we just heard what that number was, 84.23% Chatham County voter turnout.
Yeah, let me look at that.
Yay!
Wow.
Yes, that's awesome. So, anyway, so we can certify the election now, got all the reports.
Does anybody else have anything they want to say on this collection of thanking ourselves and thanking everybody around us?
Well, like I said, if anybody, I know y'all writing a list of things, and we do it also after the election. We sit down and write what we can do better, what worked, what didn't work. Any of y'all think of anything, just call us or email us and just let us know what you think might work best the next time around.
I was impressed with the way the polling places were set up and the early vote was set up. They did an excellent job. I was really impressed with all that.
Okay, I just need y'all signatures.
I just have one more thing to say, which is that I think we should consider how we can get out the word that we are so appreciative of all these people, like a letter to the Board of Education that not only thanks them for what they did for us this year, but saying we would love to continue a relationship with them in the future.
Yeah.
And, you know, whatever the best way is to thank the people in the county, the county departments and stuff. I realize you're hampered a little bit by the cyber situation right now, but we do need to get out thank you letters, and I really would love to send out something to all our poll workers, because I just think they were incredible this year. And so many of them were working for the first time, and were doing it with such grace that we need to get some thank yous out.
We don't know how long, and we'll see if we have a recount, but we'll get it done before 2021.
So here was,
Yeah, because we need time off too.
yeah.
So Kendora, we got into this discussion in part because Amy had suggested that maybe we don't need to have a regular board meeting next Tuesday night, since you're still working on trying to reconstitute the
Minutes and
minutes.
everything else, yeah.
And the main thing on my mind of what to talk about was the election itself. And so we've sort of done that, although the conversation can continue, maybe we can wait until the December meeting
Okay.
when a potential recount is over and we've
Yeah.
got everything undermined.
And I will keep you abreast of any recount, and I have the information. So if we have a recount, it probably will not be here. It'll have to be at some bigger space. And we will know that probably Monday, hopefully Monday, by the close of Monday, because that's when, if we have a county candidate, they have to 5 o'clock Monday to request it in writing. And if we have that for county or if we have it for state, hopefully we can have it at the same time.
The great news that Steve shared with us is that if we do a recount, we have
Yes.
access to a Hart machine
Exactly.
that's a high-speed counter. It won't be feeding one ballot at a time into our calculator.
So I have a question about a recount, and that is, Steve, I know you put a lot of effort and you trained us to, we compiled the envelopes and the corresponding ballots, we kind of put them in stacks and everything. So we're not just randomly opening ballots like we
No,
were
sir.
before. We're gonna kind
When
of
you're
have
doing a
a,
recount, you're just, all those ballots that went into those gray bags, those little tote bags that were sealed when we took them in the back, that's what you're recounting, you're recounting.
And we have
recounting the ballots.
instructions.
Bags
we
by
have
bag.
all the paper ballots, you got locked in a row,
Mhm.
so we can reconstruct the count with the paper.
Yes.
That's what you're doing, yeah, that's what we're gonna be, that's
But we
what we're
don't need
recounting.
to deal with the envelopes.
You don't have to deal with
You don't
the
deal with
envelopes, it's just the
absentee
ballots.
envelopes
I
again,
got it,
you'll
and
only
you
deal
got a
with the
high-speed
back.
machine, so we can do this.
Yes.
And we have instructions exactly how to proceed. I have them actually
Yeah,
on
the
my
state
desk
gave
right
us
now.
instructions on that.
And we'll make sure that it goes like.
It'll
they
probably
ask
be,
us to
we'll
do.
probably have to do it at the ag building too.
Yeah.
How big that machine is, but.
So you'll let us know if there
Yeah,
is
we'll
one.
let the public know and.
And when it will be, and I think we were instructed by the executive director to, as soon as we find out, to go ahead and set it as soon as possible and get it done.
And is,
Set it meaning, what does that
Set the
mean?
date and the time,
To go roll up our sleeves and
yes.
Yeah.
count paper ballots.
You have a question?
The machine,
Question.
yeah.
Someone asked if the early voting sites are paid by the Board of Elections for the use of their sites.
Yes.
Yes.
So let me ask this then, follow to that. The school gymnasiums, do we have to pay for those?
Those we don't.
That's public property.
We don't pay, but we do now, for the additional one-stop site at the New Hope Church, we, are gonna pay them with COVID, CARES Act money. Because that was a polling site that we got because of the COVID, extra site, so.
we couldn't claim that site because it's not government property.
Yeah, that's
Right.
private property.
But,
So
but,
it's reasonable that we
Yeah.
offer.
The governor's
that.
doing
yeah,
it
so I'm
too.
paying them. Governor's Village released that. Released this spot right here as an addition, to the office. But like the Golson Town Hall, we don't pay them, because they're part of the government, you know.
Something will be set
Salad
aside
City.
for it.
But normally what we do for our polling places is we give them $100 to pay a light bill or something. That's what we've done over the years on election day.
For a recount, is the board required to be there, or is it optional when the
The board-
recount is going on?
The board should be there, but I don't know if it has to be like a quorum.
Okay, let us know about that.
I've got that in my office. I can look at.
Sign it?
And I'll try to send y'all an email. It's been hard because I've got 3 emails I'm managing, trying to manage. And I've got, all my addresses are gone, so I have to type addresses in individually, so. So the board meeting is not,
Maybe we should take a vote on that.
Yeah.
hold on, let me write it.
Do I have a motion to
Cancel.
cancel next week's board meeting and regular monthly board meeting, and we will meet again for our regular monthly meeting in December?
Yes.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so if there's nothing else, I just need some signatures.
Right.
I did all these reports, I didn't get the total.
We're passing those sheets that you had on that table.
Okay, oh, yeah, pass them down.
They already have this on.
Do we know how many the total votes were? The total votes cast? Total? Yeah. Not really sure that.
The total ballots cast is 57,920.
No,
Yeah, that's
No,
registered
That's how many
voters.
registered voters.
Oh, 48,809.
For 84.26%.
Exactly.
84.6.
No, 26. 84.2, according to the state board website.
84.
And
0.26%.
I will finalize voter history, probably after this, so people can go check and see as to whether or not they have voter history. Voter history has nothing to do with your ballot counting. That just shows that you voted on election day. When you put your ballot into the tabulator, your vote is counted then. But if, for some reason, if you know anybody who checks their voter history and they don't have it, please have them call our office, because it could have been one of the ones that we didn't find that the vote button wasn't clicked on. We may have the ATV or the SOSA application, but the vote button wasn't clicked, and we can add voter history.
What we're signing right now is the paperwork that goes to the State Board of Elections. It's the abstract for votes, and we sign them in triplicate.
Yeah, that's the server, that's probably gonna go down real quick.
Okay.
Is there anything after the signing?
I think that's it.
This is the notes that I took on
Okay.
our discussion.
Thank you. And we don't have, on our computers right now, we don't have any Microsoft. We don't have, Microsoft Office. We can go into Google Docs, right?
We only have one laptop that we're all sharing that's got Microsoft on it.
So that's kind of hard for us to, Chance knows how to use Google Documents. He's the youngest one in the crowd, so he knows how to do that, but, I'm learning. You know how to use
I don't
them?
know how to use Google Docs, yeah.
It don't look too hard, but.
But I try to grab the laptop and do the Microsoft.
And I make him use the one.
And we got WordPad, but it's just not as
Yeah,
good.
it's
It
not.
just
It's
to give you all the
not the
options
same.
everything else does.
So when are they
Emails, but
replacing
you
your
can't
all's
produce a
computer?
document. Is that-
We can produce a document, we have to do it in, Microsoft, in Google Docs.
Are there any more updates about the county situation?
I think they have something on the homepage now about it. But, they are assessing different departments to see what their needs are until, they get everything back up and running. I think we have one phone, but we're still using that number they gave us because the phones are not really all the way back up yet. So, but yeah, they have information on the homepage of the county page. And they have, contact information for other departments. We had a department head meeting this morning, but I'll let you change that.
Did they find out where it came from?
Good job, y'all.
They're still working on
Now you just put it at the office.
Hello,
Uh-huh.
just for curiosity, any ballots came in today?
it. I haven't even
We
gotten the
haven't
mail
been to the
yet.
post office.
I haven't even had a chance to go to the mail today because I'm trying to get everything set up. But even if they did come in,
Okay.
they would, what I would do is document it as in the person's voter profile, that their ballot came late and the date that it was late. That's about it.
But as far as keeping track of their participation in a federal election, they would get credit for that, even though it came late? Or no?
They would not get credit for this election because they didn't vote the election. However, if they requested a ballot or something like that, then that technically means they've done some kind of activity for an election, so it wouldn't fall into that list maintenance that you're talking about.
Right, okay,
That list maintenance means there has not been any activity at all.
at all.
At all. If you request a ballot, that's an activity, whether it
Okay.
came back on time or not,
Okay, great.
that's different.
Any more questions?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say, one item for the agenda on December, since you're gonna be starting list maintenance in January, might be to explain to the whole board what list maintenance is. I mean, I know you have to do it every year, but
What date is
just
that?
explain it to us one more time.
Make it December.
Okay, a motion to adjourn?
Oh, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good.
I don't-
Good job, everyone.